G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for episode number 25 of our ATV Skater Templar playthrough, which sounds really weird to be saying because I swear I said that about an hour and a half ago. However, due to a power outage during the recording, I've lost about maybe 5-10 minutes worth of footage. As you can see, I've just logged in and completed a quest, which is one of the quests that I completed just prior to the power outage. This is Trapped and Alone, which is for coming down here and rescuing the little girl from the cave. So, just for fun, because I was recording when the power went out, that entire file is corrupted now and it's dead. So what have you missed? Well, I logged in Homestead, realized that I hadn't actually clicked on Dahlia's corpse when I was in the mountain deeps. So I went back, clicked on that corpse, I rescued Olgrim, brought him back to Homestead, talked to Colin Tavern about his sister, then went out here into the fields, crushed the eggs, collected Dahlia's diary, and rescued the demon trapped within the little girl. And then I ran a little bit over here and got to about here, I would say. There was a totem that I just clicked on and then the power went out. So you haven't missed a whole lot. More or less, you missed one quest and a little bit of talking in town. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it. So my apologies about that, but unfortunately I didn't have a backup at the start of this particular episode, so we've just lost that. Right, so back to the left side of Homestead. I did pick up the diary, which you can find in this house, this house right here. So this will always be here along the north wall. This is Dala's diary. I'm gonna call her Diala. Anyway, that's her diary. You will need that for some quests in, or just outside of Malmouth. And I also picked up the last will of Marthos Everbrook. Now, I found that in this barn here. You can also find it in this house, just here in this room. And you can find it in this house, in this room here, down here. Okay. So you come in through this door, there'll be a bookshelf blocking it. It'll be just in this corner. You can also come in through here, and it'll be in here. This is a little backyard area, which has some minor loot in it. And then yeah, dynamite the door, rescue the demon from trapped inside the child, and then teleport back to your roof gate. And then what we want to do is just head over here to the left. Now there is another house over this way somewhere. I think it's going to be just here. Yep, here it is. If you haven't found the last will of Martha Severbrook, it can also be in here. And if you've got to this point and you still haven't found it, you missed it wherever it spawned, because that is the only places it can live. Right, so I've already covered this, but we'll go over it again since you guys didn't hear it. What we're after here on this side of Homestead is we've killed the eggs already. We have to kill the queen. We already have our 55 devotion points, so it doesn't matter if we get the devotion shrine in the insect cave. And in fact, I am going to be skipping it because it is a decent way out of the way. This is the detonation site up here on the left for this one, the last will. Now I've already read that, so I'm just going to throw it on the floor, pick up my guaranteed blue item, and be on my way. Yeah, so I did get the, where is it? I think it's around here. I did get the devotion shrine out there. It was just XP and some loot, and from memory the loot was not very good. but I did click on that one. We will be skipping the one in the bug's nest, which should be, yep, here it is. Should be just here. There are a couple other locations where it can spawn, but they're all relatively close to each other. Right, so because we are skipping the shrine in here, we can effectively ignore all of the other levels on here. Now you can take a quick trip down to this level here, because one of the potential spawn locations of the Exalted Chest for this area is in there. In fact, I'll just show where it is anyway. No. So if we go down here, hopefully the rock will not be in the way. It's in the way. If this rock wasn't here, you would just run straight down that left side. Since it is, we have to go around. And the Exalted Chest could be just here in this little room. It is not here today, so we will be leaving once I take care of that tainted... Where is he? I know you're here. There he is. Someone the tainted Hive Guard Anoxus. I saw his aura on the other monsters, and I know from experience that he's here. So we're going to kill him, because everybody likes loot, such as it is. And we will continue back up. So we went down there for the Exalted Chest. We ended up killing the Hive Guard, so it was kind of worth it. Not really, but kind of. This one, there is no point going down there. Unless you particularly want to kill Gollus for his rings, or you really want to do a completionist run and you absolutely have to get that devotion shrine even though we're done with them, there's no point going down there. So we need one more of the Grand Viziers. Should be just here. Yep, there he is. So Grand Vizier in Ixil has the other item we need to open the door to the Queen. There it is. Also a bunch of iron bits that take up more room in your inventory. I think I missed one of the locations where the Exalted Chest could be, so hopefully it's in this last room. If it's not in here, then I'm just going to miss it. Okay, Shadow Weave leggings. We all know how much I like those. Right, decent downgrade in armor. And you know what, we're not going to use them. But having the dodge chance on your pants is very, very nice. Right, so the last potential location, and we've won the lottery, is our Exalted Stash. Pretty happy with that, although the Mage Lord Greaves I think is Aether damage. Am I right? No, Aether resistance, all damage. So those might actually be worth using. Right, so now we get to play with the Queen, and while she's stuck on the wall here, you can kind of run under her. You have to hold the force move button to do it. But you can actually run under her. You can also stack up a bunch of burning damage on the floor while she's pretending to be dead. And down she goes. Didn't drop her MI, and didn't drop anything good. Right, let's head on out and take care of the Ethereal Amalgam, or Amalgamation, who also should die pretty easily. By this stage in the game, you should have capped everything resist. And we kind of cheated by getting that drop with 4% max all res on it. The amulet here. 3 to resilience, 4 to nullification, 1 to Oathkeeper skills, 4% max all res, 4% skill cooldown. I mean, if I was designing an amulet that is just perfect for leveling an Oathkeeper, or even a Templar specifically, I would probably design that. The nullification is this one. I don't use it often, but it does provide reduction in elemental damage, so it's worth using as a debuff for that. Also, come patch 1.2, you will be able to use it to remove Sunder from yourself, and you can currently use it to remove what do they call it? Just effects with resistance reduction in them, on them. Okay, I just saw that we have reached Honored with the Death's Vigil. Unfortunately, we haven't... I didn't think about this before I ported back to town. We haven't actually got to the point in the story where they show up here, and we also haven't unlocked the right-hand side of Homestead yet. So it will have to wait until we've done that. But you could, at this point, if you wished, go back to normal and buy the writ, because that is definitely what I was thinking when I just ported back to town. I thought, okay, Honored with Death's Vigil, let's go get the writ. Unfortunately, it's not to be. But it is very important to pick that up as soon as you can. The only... Where are we up to with Black Legion, actually? Yeah, the Black Legion is the most important. Like, I will drop everything immediately when I see that notice to go and get the Black Legion writ. The Mammoth Resistance is also kind of important. I would put that second. And then I have everything else is kind of when you get to it, but do it soon. And then the Outcast and actually Barrowhome I would also consider to be... probably don't need to bother. I don't find Barrowhome usually has anything that's particularly useful, except for their augments. So if you want to get the Barrowhome writ, I mean, by all means do. But I find I usually get it to Revered before I even consider that there's anything I want. Okay, so the Ethereal Amalgamation. 8th damage, obviously we are capped, we are 30% over capped, so this is ultimate level resistance ready. What does he do? So when he comes out, he's going to basically attack us, and then he'll put some Aether Spouts up. You don't want to stand in those, you don't want to stand in any of the lightning, although standing on the green floor, if you're not near the lightning, is fine. So you want to avoid the green spouts, but the main attack he does that is going to wreck you is he will do an Aether Wave, and he'll do 5 or 6 or something of them in a row, and you want to make sure you're dodging that. So, let's go ahead and drag him out of there actually, get some more room to maneuver. Here comes the spouts. So now I'm going to run around in circles, and those waves, 5 of them, you want to make sure you dodge those. There's the Aether Waves, so next up is going to be his waves again. He's not doing it for some reason, there they go. And down he goes. So he actually died very easily there. I think maybe he's particularly weak to fire perhaps, or maybe even Aether, but he died quite quickly. Don't forget to pick up your rewards in the back of the shed here. And do be careful not to stand on the lightning. Righto, back to Homestead, and we'll do a little bit of quest turning in. So, good old Sullivan here. We have cleared out the fields for him, and we have also dealt with the Queen for him. He sends us back to Devil's Crossing to tell everybody how awesome we are. Also something about food. Let's get rid of all of these, and once again, the really good thing about having sided with Isaiah Redden is, well, these two are not particularly amazing, but he does always have 2 of these potions every time you refresh his inventory. So potentially you could get an Aether Resistance potion, a Chaos Resistance potion. They would be the ones that I consider the most useful. but he does also have damage potions occasionally. Yep, we have destroyed the amalgamation, and sure, we'll rescue your prisoners, no worries. Stairs are, of course, the final boss of this game. We are going to be sticking with the Death's Vigil here, just because I prefer them. Kaiman's Chosen is definitely the safer option, so we will be doing that in another playthrough, but just for now, we're going to stick with the Death's Vigil. We will agree to clear the mill, and Dela Thornsbury, we found her diary, and totally didn't read it, promise. Okay, we have a level up to process while we're here. Now, probably what I should do is take the 3% damage absorption on Maven Sphere. But I'm not feeling particularly squishy, so we're going to take 2 points in Inner Focus instead. And I forgot to check whether the scaling stops at 10% or at 12%, so we're just going to go with 12. Which is my mistake, I guess. I'm pretty sure the scaling stops, or slows down, I should say, at 12, but it may be 10. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go check. Because now I'm curious. Alright, so back to Devil's Crossing. A little bit of an aside. For those people who are screaming the answer at their screen, I'm sorry. But I can't hear you, so we're doing it this way. Alright, so Dina, what do we got? So, we get 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%. Okay, so this will probably give us 1% for the 12th point, and then the 13th will most likely give us spirit, but not percent offensive ability. Or something like that. Usually the 13th point, you'll go from, if you'd been getting 2% per point up to that point, it'll go down to 1 or something like that. It's still an improvement, but it's not as big an improvement. Alright. So we dipped out on the totem there. Not the end of the world. But you all know I love me some totems. Don't get it this time, unfortunately. Alright, let's go talk to the Death's Vigil. Unfortunately, I failed to grab some of those out of the bank while I was there. Would have been nice to multitask.
I'll keep your stash safe.
Where are we? Sure, 8'll do. Why not?
It's safe with me. Promise.
I guess we'll hang on to those and sell them later. Alright. Back to Sorrow's Bastion. So, back to Sorrow's Bastion, and we'll go turn this in. Having thought about it for a second, I think they actually want the ashes first. Or I think it's bones, actually. That's fine, we'll do it all together. You do have to pick up this quest in order to have the option there, so... yeah, we gotta get the remains first, that's fine. As long as we're here, I will go and buy the writ. And what do we have available? So this one actually, are we using offensive ability? Okay, so we're getting offensive ability, which is giving us a decent crit chance. However, we could have 210% burn damage instead. We could have 450 health as well. Okay, what does our crit chance drop to? It's about 0.2% for each one of these we change. And we have, where's burn damage? Fire. Burn. So yeah, about 20% increased damage from our burn damage. So that is definitely worth doing once you get to Honored. There's going to be a lot of items you can get access to from the reputation vendors. And I'll be honest, I did not expect to be getting damage over time augments from Death's Vigil, specifically because we are playing a fire damage build. I would have expected most of the fire damage augments to be coming from Kaiman's Chosen. However, we do need to be sided with the Death's Vigil in order to get our helmet. So we didn't really have a choice. So I am quite surprised to find that there is a burning damage augment from the cold undead summoning faction. But having said that, I will definitely take it, for sure. Let's go ahead and pick up our Black Legion insignias. And everybody loves totems, so we will clear this one out as well. Hopefully we'll get some nice stuff out of this. It's not looking good though. Where are you? There you are. Okay. Olzoan's Pyroclasm. So this is a relic, which does a bunch of fire and burning damage. Decent, actually. We could have used that. And I did see a Scorched Runes affix there, so I'll have a look at what that was on. Dawnguard Gauntlets, that's lightning. Okay, where are we? Scorched Runes on the boots. Right, so a little bit of burning damage, a little bit of elemental damage. That is a lot of health. Unfortunately, I think we need our current boots. These are very similar. Pierce or bleeding? Pierce would be preferable, but we do need the bleeding. Alright, so we're not using those. But they could have been good. Burning Purifier, that sounds like something fire damage related. I think it was a gun though. Yeah, no good. Okay, this particular shrine over here is one that I recommend you skip because it is quite expensive. Even in normal, it can be quite expensive. I think it's a Blood of Chthon. Oh, let's go have a look at it, actually. But I know it is very expensive. I'm not going to pay for it just because it is expensive. You could obviously do it if you wish, but I'm not going to. But let's go see what it costs. So to activate this shrine, it's going to cost you... Okay, a Seal of Binding and Consecrated Wrappings. I'm pretty sure in normal they just want the Seal of Binding. That's a little bit too expensive for my tastes, especially considering how often I find myself not having enough of those Seals of Binding. I'm going to let them keep whatever loot would come out of that. Alright, how many Seals of Binding do we have now? Or, sorry, Black Legion insignias. We actually have enough of those. I want to get in here because I think that is, yep, Malkadar's remains right there. How do we get there? We gotta go all the way back around. That's frustrating. Good thing is we have pretty good movement skill that we can somewhat spam. Alright, I'm gonna grab this. You only need 5 for the quest. As with all quest items though, you can store them in your inventory, which will allow you to use them in Ultimate. Okay, and the last thing we need to do here is get up to the Rift Gate. Now, I haven't ran into Bolvar yet, and he has an amulet. with +1 to Oathkeeper on it, so if you didn't luck out in finding Azrakar's Sands, this is the guy you want to see for your amulet. So Bolvar the Bloodbinder. You know what, we're going to kill his friend first. Alright. Friend is dead. Now we can focus on killing him. He does summon a lot of chaff, as it were. And obviously being a Chthonic cult member, he does do a lot of vitality and chaos damage. But this is the sort of amulet you'd be looking at getting. For this particular dropped version, the only thing I actually could use on that is the Spirit, the Slow Resistance, and the +1 to Oathkeeper skills. Obviously I'm not going to use that, but if you didn't get extremely lucky and drop yourself an Azrakar's Sand, then you will have to farm him for an amulet. With regards to the +1 skills amulets, there's two ways of doing it in my mind. The first way is you just take the first one that drops and maybe you farm a couple of them and use the one that has resistance as you like. The second way is that you farm it until you get one rare affix that is useful for your build. In hardcore, I would recommend Of the Grove as the affix you want, and that's going to be on any character because it provides you a heal when you get hit. I think it's 5% chance to trigger. It might be 10, but I think it's 5. Maybe higher level versions of 10. Here you go, have your seals. Okay, and we'll go do the mine as well. Sell a bunch of crap while we're here. But yeah, pretty much every character you level, you're going to want to have that +1 skills amulet. If you can get one with +1 to all skills, that would be amazing. If not, you want +1 skills to the mastery that you're using the most. Now, on this character we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, don't count these ones, 7, 8, 9. So if we had the +1 Arcanist skills, we would get 9 skill points. With Oathkeeper we have 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay, so +1 Oathkeeper is worth 15 skill points to us, +1 Arcanist is worth 9, and +1 all skills would be worth, what, 24 I think, at the moment. 24 skill points for us is 12 levels worth of skill points. Even 9 is 4.5 levels. So it's absolutely worth getting +1 skills pretty much wherever you can. At level 75, you can go to Elite Forgotten Gods, and there is a helmet there with +1 to all skills. It's pretty garbage other than that, but the helmet is there. It is a good option for everybody. +1 to all skills is probably that one line alone on that helmet, and it does have some basic resistances and a pile of health on it as well from memory. But that one line that says +1 to all skills is probably worth more than any 2 other helmets. There are some builds where you will prefer an MI with specific mods. I think this unfortunately is one of them. Because we have that half-second skill recharge reduction to our main skill, I think this is one of the builds that is going to be not wanting that helmet. The other one being the Skeleton Ritualist, because the Skeleton MI helmet allows you to summon, I think it's 4 extras at a time, also gives you flat damage to them. It's just really, really good. Okay, so I've waffled for a little bit. We are here for, here we go, Noveria Stormfire. The other one to watch out for here is, where is it? Venarius. There he is, Venarius the Backbreaker. You don't want to fight these together if you can avoid it. So you want to kind of get her attention and drag her up the path a little ways. Then you can mug her in the back alley. And you want the drop from her. I am going to kill Venarius as well, just because loot. But yeah, he's a little tougher, I think. So Ethereal Essence is what we were here for. What you can do, actually, is go around this right-hand side, grab your dynamite, and just leave. That is also an option that you have available. So right now we are done here. There is nothing else here that I want. Or nothing else that we need here, rather. However, old mate here, once we dodge his Aether Wave, there it is. Successfully dodged right into it. I'm very surprised there. Successfully failed every mechanic that boss had. Ate the charge to the face, stood in the meteor pile, and got hit by the Aether Wave. So, epic fail on my behalf, but weren't particularly punished for it, which is nice. Okay, this shrine here is a fight shrine. I am going to do it. These Rage Hulks are probably my least favorite thing in the entire game to fight, except for maybe some of the ethereal hulks, but that's right. So we just got a nice level up, and Squire's boots, nobody cares. All these greens, nobody cares. Right, so let me just double check this. So 1 point now, from 11 to 12, we get 1% spirit and 1% offensive ability. And yeah, we lost, so you can't do it anyway because it's 12 out of 12, but if I had +1 to all skills, and I was able to put another point in here, that would only give us 1% more spirit. So I will stop it at 12 out of 12, and later on when I get some gear with +1 to Arcanist skills, I will actually take a point out of this and put it somewhere else. Speaking of putting things somewhere else, I think we take Presence of Virtue next. Basically, we've been putting points into skills that give us offensive ability, and Presence of Virtue does give us offensive ability, and we will also want to get Haven because of the health bonus there. The healing effect increase is also very good, since we have, where is it? Dryad's Blessing is a healing effect. What else do we have? Oh, they're on our... Yeah, so on Resilience here, you'll see I have Giant's Blood. That's a health restored. That's also regen, but the healing, the health restored will benefit from that. And over here, we have Healing Rain, which again is health restored. So getting more points in Haven is very, very good for defensive purposes. Okay, let's go turn that in, and then I think that'll end the episode. We're already past half an hour. My apologies again for the corrupted file at the start. It shouldn't have been a problem, because I do generally back up the characters to avoid this sort of issue. Unfortunately, I didn't do that this time. Right. Next quest is going to be to get the Ashes in Fort Icon, which we're not going to do just yet. Let's head back to Homestead, turn that in, and then we'll call it an episode there. I think we get some nice loot from this quest, actually. Maybe it's actually for killing Karoz.
I am told that I could not have, when the Legion was
Yeah, it must have been Karoz. Okay, that's fine.
Fort.
We don't do this quest. This one right here, we avoid that quest. It takes us to some bad places. Okay, here is your insignia. Now, I didn't even check if I had any from normal. I did indeed have 0 from normal. So we've got 3. When we get here in Ultimate, we'll be able to turn it in with just 2 additional insignia.
I'll hold on to that for you.
But I think that'll do us for this episode, so thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.